Hi folks, this is another super quick video. Just out of the studio tonight. It is the 28th of December, so I hope you've all had a lovely festive period, or Turkey Day, or whatever you want to call it. Anyway, so the point of this is that I have been working on just a few exercises to let me think how to put this best. Engage with access to the upper register. Um, a little bit more efficiently and consistency. And going back through some of my notes and thinking about some of the exercises I used to do, I found this old exercise. And there are quite a few people out there, I'm not going to go into names, who suggest starting closer to your upper register to access your upper register and have a consistent upper register. Because if we're always building to our upper register from our lower register, then we've got so much more to go. So that's a fun little exercise. I have done this off and on for years, and I forgot about it. And it was quite nice. It's quite nice to find it again. And I'm actually going through a slight chops modification, I think is what I could say. It's not a full out embouchure change, but there is enough of a difference that I'm having to revisit some of my older routines, so to speak. So I figured I might as well share and see what you think. This is not a new exercise, but I'm doing it anyway. I've not posted a video in a little while. I have still got to re-engage my revisit my previous two videos about engaging the chops and the bars and the air and everything else. So that will come on. That will come on. But very, very briefly, what I am hoping to try and do is readjust my embouchure in such a way that I have a much more compact and efficient aperture setting. So I'll try and show you what I've got. My camera set up here. May look gross. You're going to see a big fat hairy beardy face right in your screen here. So if you look at my chops here, the way I used to kind of play, and still do to a certain extent, is that I always used to play with more kind of like forward set. So there's a lot of red exposed here, okay? But I always used to think that I still had enough of the outside of the embouchure, so the white, etc., there to support the mouthpiece. And I recently had a run of shows. It was panto time in the UK, and they got called short, sadly, due to COVID reasons. And essentially, throughout the run of this panto, I realised that this wasn't working as well as I thought it was. Not a particularly heavy show, but there was enough in it where there were demands on my embouchure to be there all the time. So I kind of rethought, and I had a little look, and I took some pictures, etc. And I realised that I was playing in an almost a kind of permanently forward open position where I don't have the ring. Oh, I've got a ring with me. Maybe the aperture was too open all the time. I'm not entirely sure. So this is not the ideal thing because it's way bigger than any rim that I've got. It is a Dennis Wick tone booster, but essentially, I always kind of played on a kind of. So you can see there's not a lot of white in there. It's hard to replicate with what's going on here. And to echo like words of like Charlie Porter, etc. We've got a great video about not playing in the red. And that's not what I'm doing with this. I'm not saying you must follow these lines of information. Again, this is just a demonstration. Oh, this is just a demonstration. It's probably gone all quiet, hasn't it? Just a demonstration of what it is that I'm hoping to achieve. So what I am hoping to achieve, and what I have been planning on doing, is that you can just see if I start with a more relaxed, closed M position, which is what we all hopefully try and teach and achieve. That's not good because the camera's in manual focus. Maybe I'll go back over here. Again, you can't really see. Basically, I've got what's called I've got quite a bow in my lip here, and I'm kind of initially thinking about using this little bit of white here as a kind of anchor position to try and find where this closed setup is. Anyway, enough talking. I'm going to have to edit this now and boost that audio because the microphone was over here and I was talking over here. And what I'll do is you'll get some absolutely horrendous chops pictures as I do this little exercise. So it's basically a descending double arpeggio, starting the G in the stave, on the stave or the staff, descending over 2 octaves, okay, and then ascending chromatically. Sorry, I'm going to blame that on a cold trumpet. So, big part of it is obviously setting up with, just go over here. If I bring my mouthpiece just up, okay. So yeah, that there was with a nose breath. I don't see any reason why you have to take a nose breath. Sometimes it feels more comfortable. I'm not really holding anything tense here in terms of like a carousel position. What I'm trying to think about this point of practice is kind of like it's almost aligned with the playlist that I've got on the channel, Practice to Perform. So imagine how many entries that we have to come in on where it's a nice clean entry. I had an entry on this Panto show. It was just an F sharp at the top of the stave, down an octave, and then it was like a first inversion ascending arpeggio. So it was like and that's all it was. And until I kind of found out what was going on, man, I was splitting that loads, and just an F sharp, and just being able to get it to come in and go took a lot of time to kind of work out, and I was starting to get the fear of what was going to come back to me from MD. Anyway, sorted it out in plenty of time. So taking a nose breath, taking corner's breath. The main thing here is to try and not disturb this area here and engage the airstream, and hopefully everything should work as quickly as possible. So we'll run to A now. Start again. Always a clean entry. Now, in a practice arena, you get the chance to hit that F 3 times. On a gig, you won't. So, go over these types of things as many as possible, anywhere within the range. And I believe you can do this anywhere from like whatever your workable register is to whatever your highest workable register is. So I usually go on as high as I can. So if you're still watching, thanks very much. And I'm going to go on as high as I can, okay? So I'm getting kind of back into um, unfamiliar territory here because I've found that the slotting that I have, having the slightly more compact embouchure, means that the slotting in here is a little bit different. So try that one. My normal would be first valve. Let's try that again. So that's on our A. Cool. So there we are. I hope you enjoyed that. I know I can still play my G's and G sharps and A's, etc., but trying to get that nice, clean, full entry every time. Um, whatever it is, that's where I'm trying to get to. So I'm going to try and spend a little bit more time looking into this. I am exceedingly interested in the Reinhardt methodology. That seems to be my new kind of like thing that I want to really explore. And thanks very much. I think I've gone on way longer than intended as usual, so I'll maybe chop a little bit of this out. I don't know, maybe not. Keep it all nice and raw. Any comments? Great, fantastic. Maybe you can see something that I'm doing that isn't really helping me out. Just keep the comments critical. If there's any dislikes, it's like, tell me why. I would love to know. Is it my production? Is it my playing? Is it bad information? Let's just open it up. Let's just have a chat about it. I'd rather have a like and a critical comment than just a dislike on the channel, because that kind of leaves me wondering, well, why? Maybe you just don't like me, Just say, hey man, great video, but I hate you. I don't care, whatever. Let's just try and keep all of it nice and positive and try and share some of this information. I had some fantastic comments that I will be getting back into regarding the last two videos that I put up. So, I'm going to get out of here. Thanks for bearing with my horrible chops cam. And other than that, stay safe, folks. Enjoy the festive period. And yeah, keep practicing. Bye-bye.